literally blacked out in the Bartholin gland, which lubricates the vagina. Where it got messy was that I almost lost my life in this minor surgery. It was a male doctor I saw. It was painless and it was this small. So lots of women out there are experiencing this. In my private part, obviously, because that is where the Bartholin cyst happens. They'll have to like drain the Bartholin gland. I am dripping blood right now. Like immediately I should be in the hospital. Right, I take my 11-year-old little sister with me for moral support. Hi everyone, I've decided to make this video about my Bartholin cyst story because there are so many women out there struggling with this issue, and I hope this video can help you in one way or the other. And this video creates an awareness because this is a very common health challenge faced by many women around the world. And statistics have shown that 100,000 women in Nigeria yearly suffer from Bartholin cyst. Now you might be wondering what a Bartholin cyst is. So a Bartholin cyst, according to Google, is a fluid-filled swelling in the Bartholin gland which lubricates the vagina. The first time I ever experienced a Bartholin cyst was in 2022, last year 2022, and it was one of those mornings where I was having a shower and I was washing myself and I felt a swelling in my private part, obviously, because that is where the Bartholin cyst happens. So I didn't, because it was painless, I didn't really concern myself or worry myself about it because it was painless and it was this small. So I ignored it, and months later it disappeared completely. I wasn't feeling it anymore. I checked, it wasn't there. Months later into the year, it resurfaced again, and this time it started like growing bit by bit. But then I still like ignored it. But then as I noticed that it was like increasing, I felt like, okay, maybe this is something. There was something that was wrong with me. Maybe my body was reacting to something, but I knew at that point I needed help, or I needed to see medical personnel. So what I did was I immediately called my pharmacist or a family pharmacist and explained what was happening to me to him. He asked me to come over to the pharmacist for like a proper conversation between us, right? So I dress up and I go there. I explain what was happening to him and all of that. That was still in 2022, and he prescribed some antibiotics for me, which I went home and I even took some injections for it because we felt like maybe it was an infection that was like disturbing my body basically. So I took those antibiotics, and towards the end of that medication I didn't notice any visible change. The swelling was still there, it was still painless, and it was increasing. Now at this point I panicked. I didn't even bother to like go back to him to tell him this because I just saw that it didn't work. The medications didn't work, and at this point I should go to the hospital and seek proper medical attention. So then I have a friend who is a medical personnel, right? So I immediately picked up the phone weeks later and I put a call to him. And if you're saying this, Dr. Samanja, you did well, you gave me the right advice. So I picked up the phone and called Dr. Samanja and I explained what was happening to me. And the next thing he said was that he needed to see. And in my head, I'm already like this whole thing has completely messed up my self-esteem. I can't even change in front of my friend. I've become extra protective of myself. I don't even want anybody to look at me, let alone ask me what is wrong with you, because I wasn't even sharing with my friends what was happening to me, because I already have this stigma that people will feel maybe because it might be because of hygiene, or people would think, oh, maybe you're just, people always have conclusions about things they have zero knowledge about. So I kept it to myself. And when he said he wanted to see a picture, I'm like, so I'm going to open my legs and allow you look into my vagina? Nah. So I was reluctant, and he's like, there's no way he will understand really what it is, and he doesn't want to do like guesswork. This might be the problem, or that might be the problem, that he really needs to see the area. And if I can't allow him see it, I should at least take a picture and send to him. So my guys, my people, if you see the picture I took, very blurry picture, because I was so shy. So I took the picture, and he's like, he can't really see you. So he asked for another picture, which it took me 1 whole week to take another picture. And I sent to him. This time, immediately he saw it. He told me, oh, this is definitely a Bartholin cyst, and if I've done anything. That's when I opened up that I saw the pharmacist, and he gave me some antibiotics that didn't work. He then gave me a medical lecture of how they've been trying to work with this pharmacist to not just render or give out antibiotics to every and any situation, that antibiotics doesn't just, he just basically gave me a lecture on that, like, which made a lot of sense, because I'm sure if he had examined me, he would have probably known it was a Bartholin cyst as well, right? So he gave me that lecture, but still advised me to go to the hospital and go to the gynae clinic for like a proper checkup, and from there they'll tell me what needs to be done. But he already gave me heads up that it would definitely need like a surgical procedure. They'll have to like drain the Bartholin gland. It didn't go that year, which was last year. I had to summon courage to like bring myself together to be able to go to the hospital, because trust me, I was so embarrassed. I felt so embarrassed about the situation that I didn't even want a third person to see me or anything. I didn't want to hear. I already was feeling stigmatized already by my own self, right? So fast forward to 2023, early this year, 2023, I then decided, he calls me and be like, what's up? Have you been able to go? What did they say? What day are you going to do the procedure? And that motivated me some more. And I took myself to the hospital. I did the necessary formalities. I saw a general doctor who immediately I got there in my, oh, I know what is wrong with me. He asked, what are you here for today? How are you feeling? And I immediately told him I have Bartholin cyst. And he's like, Madam, how do you know you have a Bartholin cyst? Who told you that? And I said, oh, I have discussed with my friend, and he's suggesting that it might be a Bartholin cyst. So he asked again that he will have to like examine it for him to know really if it's a Bartholin cyst. You know, he was a male doctor I saw, so he needed to like bring in a female nurse that will come and witness him examine me. So I took off my clothes, and he saw what he needed to see and agreed that it was a Bartholin cyst, and they referred me to the gynae clinic, which is the proper department in the hospital for such situations. I go back to the desk office, and they give me a week later for when the gynae clinic will be open to see patients. So I come back the next week they gave me, or the set date they gave me, and I go see the doctor, and he examines me and he tells me that it's a Bartholin cyst. I ask questions and how long I've been noticing it. I tell him that it's been a year now. So he said it has really grown, and I'll have to do like a surgical operation for it. But he immediately noticed I was scared when I heard surgery, and he He started like trying to calm me that it's not a major surgery. It's a surgery that takes approximately 30 minutes and we'll be out of there. The pain is not much. He was just really trying to like calm me down. But one thing struck me after my consultation with him. Immediately he told me it's a BARTHOLIN cyst. The next thing he said was, this thing is really plenty to do. Almost everybody that has come in here today, it's a BARTHOLIN cyst. So immediately struck to me that, oh, I'm not the only one, and a whole lot of women out there are experiencing this. And that is actually what motivated me to like making this video, because I know a whole lot of people out there, and there are some that are still hiding it because of what they feel embarrassed about the situation. So which is wrong. If you have a health problem, you should be bold enough to go see your doctor and get treated. You guys, it took me another 1 month to pull myself together, kill the fear and everything, and come back for the surgery. Now in August, I had the surgery in August, I think August 11th or thereabouts. Around that time, that was when I had the surgery. Where it got messy was that I almost lost my life in this minor surgery. I almost lost my life, right? So I go in for the surgery. My friend comes with me for moral support. They drop me off. They do everything they need to do, and I'm being taken to the theater, given the anesthesias and everything they need to give, which the anesthesia didn't really do much because I still felt a whole lot of pain. Charlie was active because I was I was seeing everything that was going on. I felt every needle that went through my skin. It was horrible. Let me not scare you guys. Maybe it's just me, because at the end of the day, the doctor is like, Betty, your pain threshold is this small. So maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys are strong. After the surgery, I am being taken to the ward, because to them it was nothing major. It was just a minor surgery and I didn't have to be admitted, but I was kept for some hours for examination in case of anything. Towards the evening, I was told I could go home. My friend comes and he picks me home, and I get home. Immediately I got into my house. 10 minutes later, I'm laying down on the floor because I couldn't even sit upright. I couldn't do anything. I was just lying down because at this point I was like, my skin was squeezing together. I was feeling pain, even though they had written like medications for me to get that will help with the pain and the healing in general. They told me everything I needed to do, like post-surgery care and treatment, right? I get home, I'm lying down. But from the hospital, they told me to wear a pad because I might see like blood spots. So as to not stain my undies, I should just wear a pad. So obviously I was to expect like blood here and there. I got home, I'm lying down. The doctor is like keeping in touch with me and everything. If there was a problem, I should call immediately. Guys, I get home and I'm bleeding like mad. I'm bleeding like mad, and the doctor is asking, are you bleeding? I said, yeah, I'm bleeding, but he didn't know the magnitude of the bleeding until I kept complaining that I'm really bleeding. It's not like you said I'm going to notice blood, but I am dripping blood right now. He calls on the video, he calls me on video call, and I show him the area, and he noticed that I am literally dripping. So immediately he asked me to get back to the hospital ASAP, like immediately I should be in the hospital. I book a ride. I take my 11-year-old little sister with me for moral support because I didn't think it would be anything so serious, right? I go to the hospital and they prepare me back into the theater again. I'm lying down, I'm being given the anesthesia again so they can, I think there was an opening. I don't know what caused that opening, if it was the doctors that didn't sew it properly, or in the course of moving and coming back home I might have bruised myself. Into the theater the second time, and they do what they needed to do, restitch me up. And I remembered after they were done, cleaned me up and asked me if I was okay? I said, yeah, but I was feeling dizzy. He's like, okay, yes, from the blood and all, and if I had eaten, and I also had not eaten anything. So she asked me to like get up and by myself, if I can stand up. I said, yeah. I stand up and sit upright. I said, yeah. So I stand up and sit upright. And in the process of sitting upright, she's like, are you okay? I said, I'm feeling dizzy. I want to lie down. She's like, okay, lie down. And so that's the last thing I remember. I remember that I was trying to lie down, but in reality, I passed out at that moment. Like, I literally blacked out. No jokes. Now, some minutes later, probably like 20 minutes later, I'm opening my eyes and there's light in my face, and there's an oxygen pipe in my mouth. Is it my mouth? I can't remember. Is it mouth or nose? I don't know, but there was something in either in my nose or in my mouth, and she's telling me, breathe, stay with me, open your eyes, stuff like that, just like we see in the movies, because I never experienced something like that. Stay with me, stay with me. I opened my eyes and I could hear my phone ringing, people are calling, and eventually when I like regained my consciousness, she's trying to explain to me that I passed out and how I was feeling. I thought I was still feeling dizzy. She looked into my eyes, you know the thing they do. You know the thing they do, and she then realized that I have lost a whole lot of blood and I needed blood immediately. Now, I was just in the hospital with my 11-year-old sister. I don't think I even had my card with me. I don't know how I did that mistake. So I didn't even have the finance to do anything. Luckily, they took my blood, started running some tests and all of that. But now I was feeling okay. I was good. So at the end of the day, I didn't need to like actually get blood again. They wrote some vitamins for me, and then I was admitted. I stayed there, I think, the whole night till the next day. And later, I think I stayed there for 2 days. I was then discharged back home for my treatment and everything. Now, the healing process is different from one individual to the other. Some people heal really fast, while some people it's a bit more slower, and some people it's me. Because tell me, I had a surgery in August, first week of August, and I would say I started noticing like the area coming back to shape and the swelling disappearing in like October. So that's like I got like 90% healing around October, almost 2 months later. Whereas some people could probably feel much better in the first month of surgery or in the second month of surgery, but mine took long, which I was worried. But I was keeping in touch with the doctor, and he was there was some examination being carried out on very regular basis, and everything was looking fine, and the stitches were going off by itself because I didn't have to go back to the hospital for them to take off the stitches or anything. As the place was reducing, like the swelling was going down, that was how the thread were coming off. So that's how it works. I don't know if another person's experience will be different, but that was my experience, right? So the stitches will be going off, and as it heals, it goes back to being in shape gradually. That sounds really silly to the ears. So that's starts going back, and as you take your medications, I was given some vitamins because of the blood I had lost as well. So I was taking my vitamins, and you have to like sit in a bucket of warm water like every morning to help with the healing process and everything. For most people, that is how they heal. Some people don't have to do like the surgical drainage of the gland. So people take antibiotics and it goes off. Some people sit on like those baths, like it's called I read somewhere it's called cysts. I'll write it on the screen, cysts baths. I'll write it on the screen, cysts baths. So people have like different ways in which they go about the treatment, but the most effective is the surgical drainage of it. Mind you, it is very common that 4 out of 10 women that have experienced Bartholin cyst, you definitely used to like come back. yeah, it doesn't really like go away. I've seen people, I've heard of people, because eventually now that I had it, I started talking to my friends about it, and some of them opened up that they have also had something like that happen to them, right? And for some it never like they didn't experience the cyst again, and for some it kind of came back, but then they found a way of managing it when it comes back, right? So that was basically like my experience about Bartholin cyst and what I did and what needed to happen, right? Yeah, so I hope this video helps somebody out there in case you've had or you're having this problem but feeling very embarrassed about the situation and do not know what to go. This was my story. I hope you've learned something from this, and if you have any questions or any further questions you would like to ask, I'll be willing to share my knowledge or what I know about it in the comments. You can leave me a comment in the comment section, or if you don't want this to be public here, you can as well check me out on my social media on IG or on Facebook. You can add me up there and ask me those questions, and I'll be excited to hear from you and speak with you. And if you've also experienced Bartholin cyst and yours was a different experience, I would like to hear how you handled it and how you found out that you had Bartholin cyst. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it helps YouTube to push the video out there to potential viewers and somebody that might need to hear this or learn something from this video. And also do not forget to hit the subscription button, and I'll see you in my next video.